Hello, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Actually, we are in Czekolada Cafe in Łódź, and we represent Leadership Club, that is one of the most famous club and one of the oldest in the Łódź. Actually, we meet every Thursday at 7 p.m. at Boutique Hotel, and today we have pleasure to have at our meeting our district director Piotr Himko and Adam Michalski. I'm a treasurer of this club, and we are going to talk a little bit about the truth. Why we are joining the Toastmaster and why we are participating in that event. Hello.
Why are we participating in this event? Is the question?
Actually, why is the most important question in all our life.
Okay, let me put it this way. So basically, thanks for introducing me as district director, but for the most regular club members, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that I'm also a member of the leadership club.
Okay.
I've been a member of the leadership club since we started it up, almost 6 years ago, and I'm still proud a member of the club. I'm not visiting too often, but I'm still happy to come once in a while. I've been a member of the leadership club since we started. Don't do it. Almost 6 years ago. Don't do it. So why are we here? Well, I always like to take up something new to answer the invitations. Like Gerardo, who I work with on the same floor in the same building. He comes up to me and says, Piotr, we are doing the live recording. Would you like to come and join and have a chat with Adam? And I say, of course, I'm always ready. Toastmaster is always ready for any new challenges. And that's kind of a challenge to do a 20 minutes live for our fellow club members and anyone else who is watching. So thanks for invitations, and what can I say? I'm looking forward to whatever we're going to discuss today.
Until we go to challenges, we have to go to the basic. I prepared some introduction that as far as I see the world of the Toastmaster. As we can see on the graphics, on the beginning, we have a lot of competences. We have communication competences, leadership competences, of course some sport competences. We have a lot of things that are connected with inspiration, and we have a lot of ideas. And all of that, it's connected with our personality, it's connected with our character, our mind. And there are two kinds of mindsets, the fixed mindset and of course other one that is more flexible. And the fixed mindset always needs to have something. The fixed mindset requires that confirmation comes that this competence in the communication, the competence in the leadership, we need confirmation, we need validation. Every time we have something that it is still present. But of course there are growing mindsets. And the growing mindsets is another kind of activities, because it leads to a good life. If we want to have a good life, we have to make transition from our personality, the present one, to the future one that we are expected. What is the future? What is our future? And from my perspective, I joined Toastmasters exactly 2 years ago, and I participate as frequent as possible whenever I have a time. And we have number of projects to realize and number of different things. But to prove that we are good at something, we just follow our fixed mindset. But of course, transformation requires from us to switch to a good life. And if we switch some competences to our new future prospects, we sometimes need the feedback. And this feedback loop is also provided by Toastmaster World. In Toastmaster World, we have a lot of different activities, and it's a system behind. And that system, it consists of, first of all, manuals. We have to follow the manuals like competent communicator or leadership manual. And of course, there is new system. It's called Pathway that provides us with base camp for everybody who done the assessment. And after that, we have this knowledge and system behind. We have Easy Speak. And with Easy Speak, that system, that the software I appreciate the most, because in Easy Speak we can program our future. We can go from this point to our good life by making and grow. In my case, if I plan something for 3 months ahead or 2 months ahead, it's very easy for me to follow after it, because my unconscious mind is working in the meantime. I know what I have to do in order to realize the steps to my near future. So the process is important, and realizing the small steps that are recorded in Easy Speak, just to let me know what is in front of me and what was accomplished. So it's a kind of system. And this system means nothing if there is no right environment. And now we come to Toastmaster world. And Toastmaster world gives us environment. We have fellowships, we have right environment like club, when we can practice a lot of different projects. And of course, there are behind some conferences that give us opportunity to listen other people, and club meetings, and the things like moment of truth, that we can realize our video conferences, but of course some sort of webinars. So we can practice in order to master our new life. And at the end of this road comes challenges. And we have number of challenges to master world. But not everybody is aware of it, because we are so overwhelmed with everyday life that we don't care what challenges can come. But having growing mindset, we have to consider one thing that is very important. There is always risk to take new challenge, but there are hell of the opportunities to conquer this challenge. And about these challenges, I would like to ask our master of challenges, who has set up our club in the not far history, but he now become worldwide leader in case of Toastmaster world, and he will provide us with some advices. What challenges can we take as a normal Toastmaster members? So please welcome Piotr. Maybe you will tell us something about future in Toastmaster for every member.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Thanks. It's a very nice introduction. Basically, what I see and what I read from what you just said is basically something that comes up naturally when you start thinking about your future, your challenges, your development. Because always with the development come challenges. So we always say that if you want to be somewhere you have never been, you need to do something you have never done, and that's a challenge. And basically, Toastmasters is a fantastic place to take up challenges, because it's almost risk-free. So the worst thing that can happen if you fail is not a really that big thing. So there's and on top of that, there's always a team of people around you who will help you accomplish whatever you set off for accomplishing. And there's a number of challenges, and some of them are really, I would say, even big challenges. First time when you come to Toastmasters, first challenge that you face is giving the icebreaker. For many people, it's a life-changing experience.
Don't recollect me.
Exactly. For many people, it's a really life-changing experience to come in front, to speak in front of the audience about themselves for a few minutes. So some people do it for the first time, and it can be stressful. And once you do it, once you repeat it 2 or 3 times, you start realizing that it's not that bad thing. I mean, you go, you survive, and sometimes you even get the positive feedback that someone took something from what you shared. So you start thinking, oh, maybe I am able to inspire others. The next challenge comes when you, after a few months, maybe a year, you realize there are opportunities in the club that you can get you can run for one of the club officers' roles. You can be a secretary, treasurer, like you. You can be a vice president of education, membership, or you can be even a club president. It's also a challenge when you're a club president, or even you have any role in the club officers board, in a club board. Then that's a leadership thing. You manage a sort of a small entity of a few, maybe 20, maybe 30 members, but it's a lot depends on you in which direction you are going to steer the club and the climate of the club and whatever happens in the club. But you can be a secretary, you can be a vice president, you can be a president. You have the same vote in the club, and your voice is heard. So people trust you because they consider you to be a experienced member, that you know what you do. So,
but we have one question.
Yeah.
How do you use your Toastmaster knowledge in your daily lives?
That's a very good question, and I always.
As a secretary, it's obvious.
Obviously, I always say a lot about these things. So for example, one of the standard workshops that I'm giving at the conferences is feedback in a real life, and I'll share how Toastmasters changed my way in giving feedback to other people. And honestly, as a team leader, as a manager of a team, giving feedback is a key thing. I mean, people who work with you, it very much depends on how you're giving the feedback, whether they will be motivated or not. And the way we give feedback in Toastmasters, which is a positive, which is forward-looking, which is encouraging feedback. Even you can speak about. We learn in Toastmasters that you can even point out some big mistakes in a way that will not be discouraging people. In a way that they will actually encourage people to change, to learn, to switch to a new method, to try something new, to become better in doing something. And basically, that's one of the first things that we implement. The feedback is one of the first things that we implement in a real life. But on the other hand, we learn a lot of organizational skills. I mean, organizing a meeting when you're a Toastmaster, it might sound simple, but when you start adding it up, what you need to do before the meeting is done, then you start realizing that's quite an organizational challenge. I don't know if you are a Toastmaster and you are watching us, and you have ever tried to be a Toastmaster to run a whole meeting and organize it, it's not a very simple thing. It takes a lot of things to put together, lots of elements to be put together in one place, in one time, in a right way, to get things done. And basically, this is suddenly when you in your job or in your private life, you realize that these skills you can apply like one-to-one, just copy-paste to your real life and organize anything. Organize an event, organize a conference, organize a seminar in your work, organize a training or whatever. I mean, it's very, very, very much applicable. So these are two examples how I'm using the skills, the Toastmaster skills in a real life. But going on further, and I'm going to return to.
But there is one question.
Yeah.
What the value of Toastmaster you are a fan of? The one of the fourth. Which one you prefer, and what is connected with real life? Do you have any special value of Toastmaster that you like the best?
We have four. Right? We have integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And all of them are important. All of them.
Which one you learned? Which one give you the most? Which value? Your personality.
For me, in life and in my professional life, in my private life, I would say everything starts with integrity. Without integrity, I mean, without any of, without living all of these values, you don't live your life to fully.
Right.
I mean, you are not, you will not be trusted when you don't deliver, when you don't live with any of these values. But integrity is always first. So integrity is like a basics. It's like a solid rock on which everything else is built. If you don't show integrity, if you try to cheat around, if you have a second agenda, if you are not honest with yourself and with others, I mean, you can be most respectful. You can deliver. You can go with excellence. But integrity is a first and main builder of trust, and without trust, nothing can be done. That's how I see it, how I believe it.
But sometimes trust comes from respect also, and I observed in my personal life that if I provided more respect for my employees, I earned a lot. Because I started to listen to her, to them, and listening to people, it's a key in communication. Many managers, salesmen tend to speak all the time, but they don't listen because there is no time to listen and things like that. Industrial environment is very everything in the moment. So in my case, it was really respect that also. But integrity, you have to work out. It doesn't come from, because here in Toastmaster world, integrity comes as a system. And in real life, such a system doesn't exist, in fact. And you have to build it, and sometimes it takes, months.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, integrity is actually whatever. I believe that integrity is something we should learn, and most of us learn at home when we are child, when we are kids, when we grow up, when we are teenagers. These are the values, the system of values that build up our integrity. So integrity is not in this world. There's a lot of different smaller things included. So that's how I view it. So let me just continue with the challenges. So once this is done, and you spent probably maybe 2 years in Toastmasters, a little bit more. You went to a few conferences. You might like to take up other challenges, like take part in a contest, speech contest, organize a conference, or organize a speech contest. Or there's a whole structure behind Toastmasters. It's a huge organization. It's a worldwide organization of 350,000 people, and it has to be managed in some way. So for most of us, we know the club. We know there's a club. Maybe there are some other clubs, but basically these clubs are supported by the whole organizational structure, which is which consists of areas, divisions, districts, regions, and the world headquarters of Toastmasters International.
You said 350,000 people. It's like Gdańsk.
It's like Gdańsk. Yeah.
This is quite big city.
It's a big city. Or maybe Gdańsk a little bit larger. I think Gdynia is like 350,000 people, or just Chowa is 300,000 people. Yeah, so there's a lot of people, and there's more than 16,000 clubs like this. So if you're a Toastmaster and you're looking for new challenges, maybe you could look up what it means to be an area director, to support a few clubs in your area, what it takes to be division director.
What's about April?
We are going to have the elections and appointments in May, in fact, in Wrocław, but the applications have to be submitted until end of February. And there's a lot of leadership learning opportunities. Again, it's a challenge, and it's very difficult to fail. If you do whatever you need to do, if you do whatever you learn to do, then you're gonna be successful, and it's gonna be for the benefit of yourself and for the benefit of your members, other members, and the organization.
The most important, it is risk-free.
It is almost risk-free. I mean, there's always a risk that you fail, but it always ends up with your own learnings. And I think the benefits. When I look, I saw hundreds of people in Toastmasters in the past 10 years. The learnings are much more worth than the risk that you need to take.
So I think we have to slowly finish. Thank you very much for providing us with such a wise knowledge, and actually welcome you Thursday 7 p.m. and every Thursday.
Yeah, maybe one day I will also join. See you soon, Adam.
Hotel Boutique.
Hotel Boutique, see you.
Piłsudskiego ten.
Bye bye.